Good evening and welcome everyone. Let's start with invocations and a brief meditation as we start this satsang. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Brahmanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Jnanamurtem Dvandvatitam Gagana Sadrisham Tattvamasya Delaksham Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadhi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurutvam Namami Sadgurutvam Namami. Tameva Mata cha Pita Tvameva Bandhu cha Sakha Tvameva Vidya Dravinam Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva. Thou art my life, thou art my love, thou art the sweetness which I do seek. Thou art my life, thou art my love, thou art the sweetness which I do seek. In the thought by my love brought, in the thought by my love brought, I taste thy name. So sweet, so sweet. Devotee knows how sweet you are. Devotee knows how sweet you are. He knows whom you let know. He knows whom you let know. Thou art my life, thou art my love, thou art the sweetness which I do seek. Thou art my life, thou art my love, thou art the sweetness which I do seek. In the thought by my love brought, in the thought by my love brought, I taste thy name. So sweet, so sweet. Devotee knows how sweet you are. Devotee knows how sweet you are. He knows whom you let know. He knows whom you let know. Thou art my life, thou art my love, thou art the sweetness which I do seek. Thou art my life, thou art my love, thou art the sweetness which I do seek. In the thought by my love brought, in the thought by my love brought, I taste thy name. So sweet, so sweet. Devotee knows how sweet you are. Devotee knows how sweet you are. He knows whom you let know. He knows whom you let know. Thou art my life, thou art my love, thou art the sweetness which I do seek. Thou art my life, thou art my love, thou art the sweetness which I do seek. In the thought by my love brought, in the thought by my love brought, I taste thy name. So sweet, so sweet. Devotee knows how sweet you are. Devotee knows how sweet you are. He knows whom you let know. He knows whom you let know. Thou art my life, thou art my love, thou art the sweetness which I do seek. Thou art my life, thou art my love, thou art the sweetness which I do seek. In the thought by my love brought, in the thought by my love brought, I taste thy name. So sweet, so sweet. Devotee knows how sweet you are. Devotee knows how sweet you are. He knows whom you let know. He knows whom you let know. Thou art my life, thou art my love, thou art the sweetness which I do see. Thou art my life, thou art my love, thou art the sweetness which I do see. Let's all sit upright and offer this prayer together. Heavenly Father, Divine Mother, Friend, Beloved God, Great Masters of Kriya Yoga, Jesus Christ, Babaji Krishna, Lahiri Mahashaya, Swami Shri Yukteswar Ji, Paramhans Yogananda Ji, Saints of all religion, we humbly bow at thy feet. Great Masters, Divine Mother, we invoke your presence in this satsang, in our lives, and in our hearts. Enter our hearts, purify our hearts, and still our hearts, that we may feel your loving presence. Bless us, that may our consciousness become one with thee. We are thy children. Guide us home to thee. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Let's double inhale. Tense. And relax 2 more times. And as we relax, consciously relax all your body parts, bringing your focus at the point between the eyebrows. Let's meditate for the next 10 minutes. This week's affirmation is on calmness. Swamiji writes, though the winds of difficulties howl around me, I stand forever calmly at the center of life's storms. So we'll repeat this. Sit upright. You can close your eyes and repeat out loud first. Though the winds of difficulties howl around me, I stand forever calmly at the center of life's storms. Though the winds of difficulties howl around me, I stand forever calmly at the center of life's storms. Now, in a normal voice, though the winds of difficulties howl around me, I stand forever calmly at the center of life's storms. Though the winds of difficulties howl around me, I stand forever calmly at the center of life's storms. Though the winds of difficulties howl around me, I stand forever calmly at the center of life's storms. Now whispering, though the winds of difficulties howl around me, I stand forever calmly at the center of life's storms. Though the winds of difficulties howl around me, I stand forever calmly at the center of life's storms. Though the winds of difficulties howl around me, I stand forever calmly at the center of life's storms. Now repeat mentally, though the winds of difficulties howl around me, I stand forever calmly at the center of life's storms. Though the winds of difficulties howl around me, I stand forever calmly at the center of life's storms. Now deeply gazing at the spiritual eye, again repeat mentally. Though the winds of difficulties howl around me, I stand forever calmly at the center of life's storms. Though the winds of difficulties howl around me, I stand forever calmly at the center of life's storms. And prayer, with thee beside me, I know that the tides of trouble can never sweep me away. Hold fast my hand, Lord, never let me go. Om. Now we'll have a reading from the Rays of Divine Light.
Namaste, everyone. Today's reading is from The Rays of the One Light by Swami Kriyananda, and the topic is How Devotees Rise. Truth is one and eternal. Realize oneness with it in your deathless self within. The following commentary is based on the teachings of Paramahansa Yogananda. Last week, we asked the question, why do devotees fall? And we considered the downfall of Judas in this context. Jesus, in answer to Judas' criticism for allowing Mary to rub his feet with spikenard, a very costly ointment, said, "The poor always ye have with you, but me ye have not always." Jesus is saying here that there is one supreme injustice that needs eradication. Poverty, yes, but not of a material kind. Poverty in a spiritual sense. Divine blessings are not common in this world. They are extraordinary. When they come, we should give them priority above every other consideration. Never allow a moment of inner joy, for instance, to be set aside for lesser duties. Divine attunement is our highest priority. As Lahiri Mahashaya, the guru of Yogananda's guru, said, to listen to the heart's inner sound, Om, which issues from the very center of our being, is man's highest duty. Mary, on this occasion, was not communing in inner silence with Christ's Spirit, as she had been when Martha urged Jesus to reproach her for not helping out in the kitchen. Mary, this time, was serving outwardly, but in a very different spirit from the restless fussing for which Jesus had reprimanded her sister, Martha. Those who see a radical difference between the paths of action and meditation should understand this distinction. To serve in the right spirit is necessary, for only thereby can we overcome our karmic tendencies towards restless activity. The important thing is that spirit be always inwardly focused, that in everything we do, we act in loving service to the Lord. Therefore, the Bhagavad Gita says in the 3rd chapter, the state of freedom from action, that is, of eternal rest in the spirit, cannot be achieved without action. No one, by mere renunciation and outward non-involvement, can attain perfection. Whenever the Spirit of God descends upon you, however, remember the words of Jesus, "Me ye have not always with you." Thus, through Holy Scripture, God has spoken to mankind. Om.
Okay, welcome everyone present here as well as online. My name is Alok, and I'm very happy to be here sharing with all of you on this topic. And thank you, Divya, for the wonderful reading. The topic for today is how devotees rise. It's a very interesting topic. I feel we all want to know more. How do we rise up more and go closer towards God, towards our highest potential? And few days back, I was asking some of my friends, what do you think? How do devotees rise? And many things were shared. They shared that do your regular meditations, of course, attend satsangs. All of you are doing that. Then other deeper things shared like things which are essential on the spiritual path: perseverance, right attitudes, acceptance, self-offering, surrender to the divine, all these qualities. And these are very deep subjects in itself, which are important for us to, when we are practicing that, we know that yes, these would help us to go back towards that light. But if you have heard this reading which Divya read, Swamiji picks it up from a very particular thread, which was very interesting for me when I was reading that. And of course, I'll touch on that, I'll share on that today. But before that, while I was also thinking about the topic, very like that thought came, a question came to my mind. And I don't know how many of you would have also thought that why devotees fall and what's the need of rise? Isn't being a devotee enough? Like we say, of course, we live in a world of duality and there are ups and downs, and people outside in the world, they are like, yes, they are into Maya duality. They have their own likes and dislikes, they have their own desires. And so inevitably they would rise up, they would fall, because that's the kind of nature we live in. That's the world where we live in. But once someone, a soul, has enough suffering out in the world, they realize that, okay, this is not exactly what I'm wanting. And so then we choose the spiritual path. We come to the spiritual path. We say, okay, God is what I want to seek. And and then gradually they become devotees. And isn't it that we have heard that if you are taking, like, let's say, a single step towards God, God takes 10 steps towards you. And so I was wondering then, why even devotees fall? Devotees shouldn't fall. We should have that blessing. And while I was thinking that, Swamiji even answers that in that same reading, this and the previous reading. He takes in the example of Judas. You all must have heard about the story of Judas. He was not ordinary. He was one of the 12 apostles of Christ, a very close disciple. What an extraordinary blessing to be in that circle of Jesus. And but what he did, why his example is taken, because he betrayed Jesus. What he did was, while the other disciples were trying to hide uh, Jesus, like away from the Roman empires, but he was the one who told the guards, like, this is where Christ is. And we all know the story, what happened. And the thing is, why he did that was that he was thinking, because of course there was this prophecy that a Messiah would be coming in, and he would save the world, and save from what people thought, the oppression of the Roman empires, and the cruelties and the taxes and all of that. They wanted freedom from that. And so what we say, what Judas had, he was attached to money. He had attachment to power, to recognition. And so he thought that Jesus has done all these miracles, and I need to just put him out there so that he could just banish all of, like, take over the Roman Empire and bring in that peace which people are wanting to know. So that was his intention. And so if we see it in that context, he wasn't malicious in that way, but his heart was not pure, his intentions were not pure, and that's where he fell down. What does it mean to have an impure heart? Master Yogananda ji explains beautifully. I'll just digress a little bit to share on that. He describes our mind as in four different aspects. He said, Mon, Buddhi, Ahankar, and Chitta. Mind, intellect, ego, and the Chitta, the vortices. And he explains, he takes an example of a horse. He says that if there is a horse in front of us, and when the light comes in from the horse, the brain processes that. It is processed up here. And the intellect makes us understand that this particular form of energy, of pattern, this belongs to a horse, and that is not a human, or that's not a chair, for example. And then what happens here? That the ego tells us that, oh, this is my horse. and I need to take care of it, or and things like that. And this is, it gets a bit tricky here, because then we start, this is where like self identifications comes in, and we kind of bringing that recognition. But Master said, Yogananda ji said, this is also not ultimately where attachment happens. It happens here, that in our hearts, when we say that, oh, it is my horse, I love it so much, I love to see it, I love to ride that horse, and I cannot live without my horse. These things, these likes and dislikes and attachments and desires, this is where the heart becomes impure. Why it becomes impure? Again, the question arises that if everything, God created the universe, then why can something be impure? If we say everything, there is God in everything. And Swamiji answers, he says that the thing in itself is not impure. Like we say that dirt in our houses, we say it is impure, but when it is outside, it creates flowers, trees, food, which is of course beneficial for us. So it's not the thing in itself, but where it is, that makes that impure. And that attachment, these go very subtle, that because Judas had that attachment towards money, towards fame, towards recognition, what happened, that it came out in a very subtle way, that when Mary was applying that ointment on Christ's feet, he thought, I mean, he said that, why don't we sell it off and give to the poor? He didn't want to give it to the poor, in the sense he wasn't concerned about them, but it was his own delusion, his own desire for that, which made him do that. And so that's the same thing for every disciple, that if the heart is not impure, Christ said that blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. And so, for in order to see God, in order to feel God, we need to remove any of those vortices, attachments, desires which are there in our heart, and otherwise God cannot enter there. And for in order to clear out those vortices, those attachments, those desires, devotees, even devotees, they go through certain experiences, which, and these are the exact karmic patterns that they go through, which makes them realize their mistakes, so that they could move towards the light. If we Master said, Yogananda ji said, Judas got free after 2000 years. He was a disciple of Sri Ramakrishna, and Master had met him, and so even like he got freedom. And this is where the important point is, where which I wanted to connect what Swamiji was sharing, that what was the inspiration, what also that was the same which caused him that suffering. We say Judas suffered for 2000 years, and but he got final liberation. And that thing which helped him to get that final liberation, that is smriti, that is divine memory, that is the feeling of God in our own selves, in our own hearts, the feeling, the knowing that we are children of God. And that is already within us. And we, all of us here present here, that we must have felt it in certain ways, without which we wouldn't have been here. That it is that divine remembrance which makes us realize that that's what, when even devotees fall, they go out in the material world, even if they are seeking different things, there is something in them which tells them that okay, this is fine, but there is something much much more greater than what I'm just seeing there, what is just visible to the eyes. And because that memory, that divine reckoning which is there inside of us, that is incomparable to anything outside of us. And because that is there inside of us, that kind of helps us to move forward. That's what Swamiji says in this writing, right? When he says that divine blessings are not common, and this is what he wanted to point out to us. He said that they are extraordinary in this world, and so when they come, prioritize them over anything else, which is very important for us. Swamiji gives his own example in his life when he was there in Mount Washington he was new there some months as a monk. And so what he would do during lunchtime, he would set aside his own food and keep it and then go for meditation. He would like sit for half an hour, like I'll meditate. Even if my food is cold, I don't care because I'm meditating. So then what happened one day, he went in, and just as he was finishing up his like towards the end of meditation, he had like a divine experience. He felt bliss in his heart, and it was so much joyful, so much blissful. He was feeling that divine presence. But that thought keep coming back to him that, "Oh, it's almost time. If I don't like finish my food and go back to work, I'll be late. I'll delay my thing." And the thing is, when you experience that, when we experience that bliss and joy in our meditations, we feel that, oh, it's so natural to us. How can how can we be separated from it? And we say that, okay, maybe I'll just do my job and go in the evening, and then I'll have more time and I'll enjoy this bliss. Swamiji tried to do that, and he said that it didn't work out. He said he lost that bliss for a long time, for many months. It didn't come back to him, and that's why he said that even like and it doesn't come by any appointment or anything that God is coming to us at this hour. So be prepared. It can be at anywhere. It can be even like you're commuting maybe, and suddenly you feel of God, and you are having this feeling of bliss inside of you. And Swamiji asks us that give that time. Nothing is more important than being in that experience, than feeling that. Even from Yoganandaji's own life, this fellow disciple Bernard, of course, you would have heard about him. So they were making some construction was happening, and I think Encinitas was where something Yoganandaji was creating something, and so there they were like helping out to build maybe the gates or something, some concrete, some construction, and they were like probably an inauguration, or reporters were coming in, and they had a deadline. So what happened on that last day, Bernard didn't show up. And of course he had big responsibility. It's like if here we are having the spiritual fair or something like that, and then many of you who help with major things doesn't show up, and you can imagine like what could happen, what could like Amit, Anandita, and others would feel like, where is this guy? He is responsible for this. And when he ultimately showed up, Yogananda ji was like, where were you, Bernard? And he said, sir, I was meditating. And he was like, oh, then it's fine. That's okay. That was his reaction. And because he knew that he was having a divine experience, he was feeling that experience. And so even in that important moment, even for such a big thing, Yogananda ji said, no, you did the right thing. Even above our duties is to be one in that bliss if we are feeling that. And so we must take it in the right way. I don't want Amit and Anandita telling me, what did you say, Alok, in the satsang? Now nobody is coming, everyone is meditating. But if we have that, we must prioritize that. And because these are divine blessings, we don't know when they would come, but they keep a very deep, they mark very deeply in our hearts. What we feel becomes that inspiration for us to move forward. When we feel that joy, when we feel that presence of God, even in times of difficulties, that becomes our inspiration, even when we are not feeling God, that we know He is there, even if we are not feeling. And that is what gives the strength, what I was sharing in the beginning, the strength to persevere on the path, the strength to accept and move on, the strength to self offer ourselves, the strength to be determined, to be on the path, where does it come from? It doesn't come from just a mere affirmation that I will do that, but it comes from a recognition that there is something higher within our own selves, which we ourselves are seeking. And of course, we do have our own baggage, we do have our own things to carry, which we need to move forward and overcome. We have our own karma, but God doesn't mind our faults. That's the most important thing, where many devotees, they get stuck. He doesn't mind our faults, he minds our indifference, he minds if we close our hearts, if we are not open to him. But if we are trying, if we are putting out energy, he does come in and help us. Uh, um, there's this beautiful story, Nayaswami Krishna Das. If those of you who know him from Ananda village, some years back, he shared this story, his own experience of he had a near death experience. And he said that what happened, he fell down and hit very hard on his head at the back. And he was like, suddenly he felt that he was taken, like, he was into a very, like a tunnel. He was taken into a tunnel, which was like very bright, very majestic, and he could that tunnel was very familiar. He could feel his father's presence, who had left some years back. He could feel a presence of a friend who had left his body, and other things. And he was moving towards that light, towards that tunnel. And that light, he shares, that was very bright, very brilliant, very beautiful. And it was so beautiful that he was wanting to get merged in that. He was wanting to become one with that. But there was something which was holding him back there. And there was a resistance he was feeling. And what was that? He was saying that that resistance, he was feeling guilt in his heart. He was feeling a sense of shame in his heart. And he was saying that, oh, forgive me, forgive me, forgive me. Because that light was very revealing to him. It wasn't like beautiful in its sense, but it was also revealing truth as it is. And we see the good and the bad that we do. And so, as he was repeating these words, please forgive me, he heard as if a divine voice come to him, and it said that there is nothing to forgive. There is nothing to forgive. You were never judged. Very beautiful words. And with these words came a feeling of divine love, a feeling of unconditional love. And he said that in that moment, all those doubts vanished, all those resistance vanished, and he went into that light, and he was bathing in that unconditional love. It was such a high experience that when he came out of it, he was so full of that blessing, that light. He didn't eat, sleep, do anything for like the next 3 days. And then he shares one very important thing. He shares that as he was reflecting on that and he was thinking about that, he said that suddenly a voice came to my mind and said that, why are you living your life like this? Haven't I given you yoga? And for us, haven't we have got Kriya Yoga? So that is our key to that freedom, to know. And this is just not his experience, and it is for us to know that that unconditional love, that forgiving love, is for all of us present. And it is we who say that we have done something which is not redeemable, that it doesn't matter what our faults are, but if we make an effort towards that light, if we want to go towards that light, then grace comes in and helps us. Yogananda ji said, he gave a very easy equation. He said, on the spiritual path, our effort is only 25%, and the rest is God and Guru's blessings. And what is that 25%? That is opening ourselves up to that divine grace. It is like the sailboat, which the sail needs to be in the right direction. And when it is in the right direction, that wind comes in and takes it forward. Nobody needs to do anything. That it is how, for even devotees, that doesn't matter what we have done, if we open ourselves up in that direction, we'll feel that grace come in. And what helps us to do that, that is that divine remembrance, that is that smriti, with which helps us to keep our sail open, to keep ourselves focused in that direction, so that when that grace comes in, we just flow with it. There is nothing holding us back. So try to hold on to your divine smriti and take a step closer towards God. So thank you. Um, yes, we'll have an arati and then a touch of light. As I do the arati, feel that with me, all of you are also offering yourselves up to the altar, to these masters. And as you come for the touch of light, also feel that these are the blessings of these great masters coming on to you. Close with a prayer. Heavenly Father, Divine Mother, Friend, Beloved God, Jesus Christ, Babaji Krishna, Lahiri Mahashaya, Swami Shri Yukteswar Ji, Paramhansa Yogananda Ji, we humbly bow at thy feet. Divine Mother, may thy love shine forever on the sanctuary of our devotion, and may we be able to awaken that love in all hearts. Om. Let's rub our palms together and send out 3 chants of Om. Om. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Thank you, everyone. Good evening. So there is prasad outside. All of you can go and have it.
Share of the class that you have next Sunday about the yoga day program.
Okay, for everyone who still don't know, we will have next Sunday, Yoga Day. Will be 2 sessions. First session morning from 10 to 12. And the second session will be afternoon from 3 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. So these events for free. Everyone can come and join. It will mostly Hatha Yoga, but also a little bit philosophy about chakra afternoon. So everyone is welcome. Please come and enjoy with us.